Good evening, everybody, and welcome to today's session of Roznama, the daily newspaper analysis. Today is the 16th of April, and since the past few days, there have been 2-3 things that we've been discussing, and today's newspaper is going to again be centered around the same topics. The topics being delimitation, the Women Reservation Bill for 2023, and the census that is to precede the delimitation that is to take place in the country. All right, now the delimitation that is supposed to take place actually was supposed to be based on the 2021 census, which took place in which is now going to has begun in 2026, and we'll get the final data in 2027. So this particular delimitation was supposed to be based on this, but the government took a decision just a few days back that it would delay the entire process of outlining new territorial constituencies, increasing the number of seats in the parliament. So instead of waiting till we get the census data of 2027 to undertake the delimitation and increase in the number of seats in the parliament, and also to enforce the women reservation, the government decided that the government would undertake this delimitation on the basis of the 2011 census. All right. So that has been one of the major points of contention over which the opposition members are actually unhappy with the government move. All right. So the first piece of news is on the same thing. The southern states did show reservation for the new delimitation exercise, saying that the southern states are going to lose onto their seats because this delimitation, this will take place on the basis of population, and the southern states have significantly reduced their population as compared to the northern states. So there are greater chances that the southern states are going to lose onto their seats and the northern states could increase their seats. However, the government, as per whatever blueprint that the government has prepared, the bill that the government has tabled, as per this, the government has made it very apparent and ensured the southern states that their seats in the Lok Sabha are going to remain unchanged. All right. And each of the states' new count would be included in the schedule. All right. The government has also said that this delimitation exercise will demarcate constituencies on the basis of the 2011 census, and the total number of Lok Sabha seats will go up by 50%. Okay. All right. Then then a continuation of the same piece of article. I mean, a continuation of the entire idea of delimitation and census. Here, they've mentioned the various bills that would be the various articles of the constitution that would be amended, which we've already discussed in the preceding classes, but in the preceding sessions. But then again, just quickly, Article 55, 81, 82, 170, 330, 332, and 330A. These would be the articles that are to be amended. So Article 55 actually pertains to the manner of election of the president, that is the formation of this electoral college, which is supposed to be inclusive of the members of the Lok Sabha, members of the legislative assemblies of the various states, and members of the legislative assembly of Delhi and Puducherry. So all of these seats have to be increased, will be increased. So naturally, the new number is supposed to be included in Article 55 pertaining to a change in this. Then similarly, Article 81 would be amended, which actually includes 550 as the maximum number of seats of the Lok Sabha. Article 82 calls for undertaking a delimitation exercise after every census. So this also the government has proposed to change, where they are trying to remove after every census and on the basis of population, and they're trying to replace it with such authority and such a manner as the parliament may determine. So basically, they're extending major powers to the parliament. Then Article 170 is with respect to the state legislative assemblies. 334 is for reservation of seats for SCs, and 332 is for 332 is for SCs and STs in assemblies. 334 is for reservation of seats for a particular duration of time. All right. So all of these articles, they would be changed and amended in the constitution. Then we have Samrat Chaudhary, who has taken charge as the new chief minister of Bihar after the resignation of Nitish Kumar. Why did Nitish Kumar resign? Nitish Kumar resigned because he got elected as a member of the Rajya Sabha, and as per Article 101 of the Constitution, read along with Representation of Peoples Act 1950, one particular person can't be member of two houses. All right. So he had to give up his membership in the Legislative Assembly to be elected as the member of the Rajya Sabha. All right. Then from today, the 2027 census exercises, house listing operations begin. In this particular operation, in the house listing operation, what the government is going to do is they are going to record structural and household level information, enumerate the building numbers, number of rooms, ownership status, etc. of various houses. All right. So this will be undertaken specifically beginning in Delhi and then eventually to the rest of the country. All right. So it is going to begin in 8 states and union territories today. All right. Then the next the next piece of article is again an update on the Iran-US war. But the first peace talks, they failed, and now the two countries, they're trying to renegotiate and come about with the second peace talks, where Donald Trump has basically said that the war is close to over, and Pakistan's Chief of Defense Staff Asim Munir, he has arrived in Tehran to undertake peace negotiations between the two warring parties. All right. Then also yesterday we did see that Israel has agreed somewhat to bring about a truce, bring about a peace agreement between Lebanon and itself, and to basically call a ceasefire and not undertake further attacks on Lebanon. Yesterday, this was the statement issued by Israel, and again, Israel has struck southern Lebanon. Okay. Then further assurance by the central government that the state seats will rise by 50% after delimitation, that greater representation on the basis of population in a respective state would be given, and then no state is going to lose the current proportional representation in that respective state. Now Chhattisgarh is now becoming the third state in the country to give nod to a UCC draft. All right, UCC is Uniform Civil Code. This Uniform Civil Code is provided for under Article 44 of the Constitution, which is part of Directive Principles of State Policy. So we did see Uttarakhand implement a Uniform Civil Code in their country, in their state. Then we had Gujarat also passed the bill, and now Chhattisgarh has now approved to establish a Uniform Civil Code for itself as well. All right. Then coming to the editorials for today, the first one, a wonderful article, please do go through it, written by Neerja Chaudhary. This particular article basically goes through the history of women representation in the parliament and how women have historically, been represented with a very meager number. She's even given data saying that today the women members in the Lok Sabha is about 13.6% of the total membership, and in the last 80 years it has just increased by 9.22%, which is a shame, due to which it is imperative that the opposition members, they actually should support this reservation bill, so that at least we could have women in greater numbers who could get compulsorily elected into the Lok Sabha, and then naturally better women-centric policies programs could be undertaken. All right. Then this article is a take on the delimitation, how the government proposes to do so, and the various provisions pertaining to this, and how it is actually going to strengthen democracy in the country. Then again, an article on why everybody is afraid of delimitation, simply because certain states anticipate that they are going to lose on to their already aligned seats in the parliament, in the Lok Sabha. Certain states, because they feel that they are going to lose on to their seats, which will naturally reduce their political standing in the parliament. So, and also there is this major issue as to the composition of the Lok Sabha. And then if the number of seats are increased to such an extent, establishment of coalition governments, making it more effective is a challenge. That is the major problems that delimitation could actually bring about. All right. Then again, this article on delimitation, why the number of seats should be increased, what are the benefits to the southern states, and actually does not bring about any harm to it. So again, you all can go through delimitation. Then this particular article is on how US and Iran should actually lower their entire propositions to bring to an end the war, as to that US is demanding too much of Iran, and maybe Iran is ready to give very little. So both of them must find a common ground to strike a balance between or amongst themselves, so that a peace agreement could be brokered. All right. Then this article, again, a wonderful article written by Shashi Tharoor. The article basically says that if you look at the present global scenario, we see that other countries, they are taking up propositions, they are taking up stances to bring about to a conclusive end the war between the West Asian region, whereas India is only calling for dialogue, diplomacy, etc., and maybe not taking up the role that India should take up. All right. So we see Pakistan that is actually, taking up concerted steps, taking up pretty conscious steps to bring about a peace agreement, whereas India's only been speaking. We had a recent, yesterday, we only had this news piece that our Prime Minister spoke to the US President for 40 minutes on call, which naturally is not resulting into a very, giving India a very concrete position on the international geopolitical stances. All right. So, good article. Then dry days. This article is on the El Nino event that is to strike the Indian monsoons this year. So, what is El Nino? El Nino is basically the warming of the Pacific Ocean, which results in the southwest monsoon, instead of being attracted to the Indian subcontinent, gets attracted to the Pacific Ocean, and India experiences drought or famine-like conditions as against countries in the southern Pacific Ocean, which experiences greater rainfall. All right. So now, because it is an El Nino year, we are naturally going to anticipate less rainfall. And just a few days back, we did see that the IMD has actually issued a statement, has actually forecasted that this year we would experience below average, below normal rainfall. And this below normal rainfall is going to be below normal in the last 11 years. All right. If rainfall is going to be deficient, then naturally the agriculture would be affected. If agriculture gets affected, we would be suffering from food shortage, food insecurity, which would again result in inflationary rises in the food prices. Naturally is going to affect the entire monetary balance in the country. Okay. Then coming to news in brief. Now, just last month, the Indian Foreign Affairs, or the Ministry of External Affairs, they had sent out invitations to the foreign ministers of the BRICS member countries to participate in a foreign affairs, a Ministry of External Affairs meet or a foreign ministers meet, which is scheduled to take place on 14th and 15th of May. Then the actual BRICS summit is scheduled to take place in September, around 9th or 10th of September. So Wang Yi, the foreign minister of France, of China, and Lavrov, the foreign minister of Russia, they have basically agreed to come and attend this BRICS foreign ministers meeting. All right. Then also India has been participating in AZEC Plus, which is Asia Zero Emission Community Meeting, which is a meeting held via video conference, which was hosted by Japan, and our foreign affairs minister was a part of it. All right. And this entire discussion took place on supply chain disruptions in the energy market. All right. Then yesterday only, 22nd, or no, as of not now, the next week is going to mark 1 year of Pahalgam terror attack, and India is going to highlight Pak-based terror through exhibition in the US. All right. Then the last one for today is that Vaishali, who is also a grandmaster, and she's from Chennai. Now Vaishali has won and qualified the chess tournament in Cyprus, which now qualifies her to play the world championship this year against the Chinese candidate, which is Zhu. All right. So now she's won this, and she can now, play against Zhu Wenjun in the international world championship. All right. So she's moved in the footsteps of Konero Humphrey. All right. So this is all for. One more thing, that Iran has also said that a few days back, Iran did issue this statement saying that Iran is not going to play football, the FIFA World Cup in US. Why? Because Iran and US have been fighting this war. They are at war, and Iran said that it maybe is a security threat for its own players. That is why Iran said that Iran would not be playing the FIFA World Cup. The FIFA World Cup this year is going to be hosted by USA in collaboration with Mexico and Canada. And the current president of FIFA, Gianni Infantino, he has basically said that it is his decision and he is finally going to decide whether Iran can withdraw, etc., would be replaced by somebody. And Iran said that Iran is not willing to withdraw from the tournament. But if Iran's matches could take place in Mexico or Canada, then maybe it would be more feasible for Iranian players to go there and play. All right. So that is all for today's newspaper analysis. I hope everything is clear, and I'll see you all soon with the next one. Thank you.